what's up everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got a shoe review on the channel. It is the Hoka Bondi X, which is a very surprising shoe. There's a lot of really cool features in this, and in this video I'm going to dive into all of them and let you know what I think. Let's go. Alright, so this is my follow-up to my first impressions video that I actually released in July. I've had this shoe for a really long time, and Hoka's probably thinking, what's going on, Ryan? Because they sent me this shoe, full disclosure, they sent this to me for review, and I have just been putting miles and miles into it. Finally, I'm getting around to putting together my full review on the Bondi X. So with that out of the way, we're going to talk about some of the things that maybe might have changed from my first impressions and some of the things that have not. Some of the things that have stayed the same. And right off the bat, I will just tell you that I really like this shoe a lot. I've got over 150 miles in it, and I've really been putting this shoe through its paces, long runs, short runs, up to 20 miles, fast runs, slow runs, recovery runs, tempo runs, intervals. I've been trying everything with this shoe, and I am really surprised at what Hoka has been able to do packing so many features into a shoe like this. Hoka did also send me out the Bondi 7 so I could compare and contrast, because honestly I'd never run in the Bondi line, so these were all new to me, but I'll get you a few of the differences as we go in this video. So right off the top, we have to ask ourselves, what is the Bondi X? What's its purpose in life, and who's it for? So it is a max cushion shoe from Hoka. There is a carbon plate in here, which is kind of weird to have a sort of like max cushion, which looks like a daily trainer shoe with a carbon fiber plate. It's got a soft ride, in my opinion. It's pretty balanced. It's got a rocker that moves you forward, and the description literally says that it feels like marshmallows. So we got 33 millimeters in the heel and 28 millimeters in the forefoot, giving you a stack height of 5 millimeters. And in my size 11.5, it came in at 12.18 ounces. Right now it just comes in this one colorway, the white, and get this, evening primrose is what this is called, and I had to look that up. It means pale yellow, which honestly, Hoka, I have to give it to you. Like, you're really like nailing it with these colors. And like I said, I've had this shoe since July. It's got over 150 miles in it, and I just find myself reaching for it a lot because it just really does fit a lot of the runs that I do training for ultra marathons. But now we're going to talk about a couple things that this shoe has going on for it. So first up, we've got the fit. For me, the sizing was perfect. My normal size fits just fine. The forefoot, I actually found, was a little bit more roomy than some Hokas out there, like specifically the Clifton 8 was more narrow for me, and also the Bondi 7 was just a little bit more narrow in the forefoot as well. The heel had a really good feel. It's really soft, it's cushiony, there's a lot of plushness back here in the heel. The upper is an engineered mesh. It's 100% vegan materials, which is cool. There were no hot spots or pain points or anything like that. The tongue is a partially gusseted, perforated EVA tongue, and I really liked it a lot. Like, it really worked out well. There's just enough padding in there to give you a little bit of barrier in between your foot and the laces, and it just didn't ever cause any problems. I really liked it. Up next, we're going to talk about the ride, and this is where most people probably have a lot of questions, because if you're talking about the Bondi 7, this is a totally max cushion road running shoe built for comfort, but it is also pretty flexible. Like, there is some give left to right, forward to back. Like, it's not a super stiff shoe in my opinion. The Bondi X has a carbon fiber plate in there. It's not like one of the super shoes. Definitely doesn't feel like meant only for race day. You still have a lot of that cushion coming from the Bondi, and when you put the shoe on for the first time, you're not like smacked in the face right away with the carbon fiber plate. And if no one said anything to you and you didn't have another shoe to like immediately compare it to, you might not even really be able to tell right away. I just felt okay using this shoe as a daily trainer. I didn't feel guilty that I was kind of like wasting miles on a super shoe that I should be saving for race day. Like, this just, it felt like right. All right, let's talk about performance. On the outsole, you do have some strategically placed rubber, but here in the middle, along this center section, it is just exposed EVA foam. And honestly, I had no problems in all different types of weather. The outsole gripped just fine on pavement. The upper drained really well when it was raining or filling with sweat. As far as what's the best distance to run in this shoe, I feel like a lot of shoes have a pretty specific target for what they're going for, at least in my experience. Some shoes are definitely not meant for more than about 6 or 7 miles. Some shoes, you really want to save them for race day. You want to save them for that marathon. I feel like the Bondi X kind of hits everything. I've taken it out on 4 or 5 mile runs. I've taken it out on several 20 milers. It did just fine. Like, this holds up over the long run. In short runs, it's snappy enough that you can get some good intervals. But the one category that I would say this does not fit in is the race shoe for the really experienced runner. If you've done a couple half marathons or marathons and they're all kind of similar times and you're fighting really hard for that PR, this is probably not the shoe that's going to shave off a couple seconds per mile for you. However, I do feel like it fits almost everything else besides that. All right, next up, let's talk about the appeal of the Hoka Bondi X. I really like this shoe a whole lot. It makes me want to go run. Although I will say though, it is massive. Like, it's a huge shoe. So like, it catches a lot of attention. When you're running, sometimes you're kind of like self-conscious about how big this shoe is, especially this heel back here. Like, there's no getting around how huge this is back here. Other than that, I think it's a really slick looking shoe. I really like the colorways. I think Hoka did a really good job with this. So wrapping this up, what's the deal? Is this shoe worth the price, and who's it for? Should you buy it? The Bondi X coming in at $200, I think that's exactly what it's worth. It is definitely bringing more to the table and offering you more than a typical daily trainer like the Bondi 7. So I think it should cost more than that. But it is also not going to be that elite super shoe that you're going to wear on race day if you're a really experienced runner. So I definitely don't think it should be much higher than 200. But I think it's going to last a long time. I mean, I've got 150 miles on this, and there's not really that much sign of wear and tear on it. So I think it's going to easily get you 400 or 500 miles. And I think that $200 is pretty much right there. I think that's the sweet spot for this shoe. And so for my final reaction on this shoe, who's it for? Hoka says that this is really the carbon plate shoe for everyone. And even inside the shoe, it says everyone can level up. I really do think that they've nailed it. And I think that this is a really great option for someone that wants to just try a carbon fiber plate shoe, but is really worried about everything they've heard online about carbon plate shoes and how they're so stiff and hard to run in. And this is definitely like, that breaks all of those stereotypes. And so this is a really good entry shoe for someone that's never had a carbon fiber plate in the shoe and just wants to try it out and wants to be able to still get 400 or 500 miles out of their shoes without them just falling apart and like becoming uncomfortable. So I think if you're looking for a daily trainer and you want a little bit of snap in your run, it was for those days where it was kind of like late in the week where I knew I had a big run coming up on the weekend and I knew I still needed to get 10 or 12 miles today and I'm just really not feeling it. Well, I put these shoes on and within a couple miles I was in my groove. I had that rhythm down, and these shoes, like, they don't give you a ton of extra energy, but they give you a little bit and you notice it over the long runs. So that's my opinion on the Hoka Bondi X. I'm pretty hot on this shoe. Like, I really think that Hoka did a good job, and there are some things that I would like maybe shave off a little bit of weight because I'm not really sure that you need all this foam on the back here. I don't really know if you need all the padding. Like, I think they could lose a little bit of weight, like maybe half an ounce or an ounce. But other than that, I mean, the shoe like really works for what it's intended for, in my opinion. And I'm pretty excited for more people to try this shoe because I think that it is going to open up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and it's going to give people some experience with a little bit more tech in their shoe. So that's my opinion on the Bondi X. If you've tried this shoe, definitely sound off in the comments and let me know your opinion. Get the conversation going. And if you have never tried it and you want to, you're interested, but you have some questions, let me know. I'm just pumped about this shoe. I liked it a lot. I think Hoka, like, they took some risks. It was a bold move, but I think they're innovating in the space and I think they're moving the needle, and I think other companies are going to follow suit, and you're going to see carbon fiber plates popping up in all sorts of daily trainers over here in the next year or two. So that's it, my review of the Hoka Bondi X. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.